Okay guys, today I'm going to be installing the TeraFlex body lift. This is a body lift, a simple body lift. It's a 1.25 inch lift. It's a simple lift to do on a JK 2008 to 2011, I believe. It can go higher than that, I'm not sure. But I know from 2007 to 2011, 2-door or 4-door. My car's a 4-door, so the 4-door, my car's a 2-door, and a 2-door model has 8. All right, they're basically positioned just like this. If that was the front of the car, you have, it's a rubber space. I'll show you where it's gonna go. And it's pretty hard. And these long neck nuts, those are the 2 front ones. Then you have, right after that, going towards the back, you got 2, 4, and the last 2 all the way in the rear are thicker. These bolts are thicker than the rest, so these stay in the rear. And you have thick washers that come with it. And why I'm installing the kit is because I'm putting 33s on the car, but I don't want to crazy lift it. I just wanted to lift it enough, and this is not lifting the suspension, so it's not changing the geometry of the suspension, which I like. And let's say if you wanted to even go higher and you wanted to do a suspension lift, even with the body lift, you can do a suspension lift. So in other words, once you put it in, you don't have to take it out to do a suspension lift. That's the proper way to do it if you want more travel. But I got enough travel. I just want to clear the tires. I don't want no rubbing. And I'm just giving that, you know, 1.5 inches bigger. Basically, these are 31 stock. And the 33s are going to pretty much look like this, but you know, with the same space in between. But it's just going to be taller because everything else is bigger. The wheels are bigger, so. And won't change any suspension geometry, which I like. And it's really easy to install. If you have to have floor jacks, obviously. I'll show you in the back over here. Underneath here, this is one of the mounts. Underneath, you're gonna zip it out, and the block goes in between the frame and the rubber mount here. And basically, that's the same. You see what I have on the floor? Underneath there's another mount right there, right here, and then over here is the nut. Let me see if you can see it. You see this one? Gonna lift it up, and it's gonna go in between here. And of course, that's why that deep nut is gonna go into those threads. All right. So basically, what you want to do is you want to loosen. Let's say if you want to lift the passenger side first, you're going to loosen the driver's side ones. Don't take the bolts out. You just loosen them all the way, or you can take them out and then screw them in a couple of threads. Take them out, make sure they come out nice, and screw them in a couple of threads, all on this side, all 4 of them on this side. And if you have a 4-door, I think there's 10. The kit comes with 12. Maybe it's for the Gladiator, I'm not sure. But anyway, you loosen them all up, because what you're going to want to do, if you take them all out and you tilt the body, you can slide it, and then when you put the bolts in, it's going to be hard to line up the holes. Can you imagine? The body's going to shift. This way, you leave them in, and when you lift up whichever side you're doing first, it doesn't slide, it doesn't do anything. So once you do that, you're good to go. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to jack it up. You got to find a place to jack it up. You can't jack it up from the frame, obviously. You got to jack it up from the body. And the trickiest one would be this one, because this one has the stud. The front one, right there. That one has a stud, so you got to lift it up pretty high to clear it. And I'll show you what it looks like once I do one side. Well, I'm lifting it up. You got to get a big block or something, and maybe this is not going to be enough, but let me show you what it's doing so far. See the front? I still got to lift it up enough that I can slip the 1.25 inch rubber blocks in. All right. See the back? I'll show you the back now. You can see it. Back is almost enough that I can slip it in. I'm gonna jack it up a little bit more. And another thing I want to notice, just make sure you got nothing pulling. Like I'm watching my winch wires over here. Make sure that the body's not gonna go up, that it's gonna rip anything. I think you're pretty good with everything. Might as well want to check this ground wire. Just make sure that that's not pulling on anything. But according to the instructions and everything, it should just go. All right, I'm gonna continue. And you see where the blocks are gonna go? Right there. You lift it up just high enough that you can get them in. Let me show you. You can see the one up in there. And you can see, I put that one right there. And one right here. See? Just put them in. And you lower it down. Don't lower it down on them, you know, lower them down a little bit so you can still move the washers, the rubber mounts until you can thread the bolts in by hand. You don't want to strip these bolts, okay? All right. Okay, and here it is completed. Make sure you're going to torque the 8 body bolts. If you have a 2-door, 4-door, you're going to have 10. The Gladiator, I believe you're going to have 12. Just make sure you torque them to proper specs. And about 500 miles, retorque them. Just make sure everything's settled and it's torqued properly. And it's basically that easy. One note, if you have a manual transmission, I think you're going to need some kind of a kit. I don't have a manual transmission, so wasn't an issue. But if you have a manual transmission, I believe there's a kit. So before you start, make sure you get this kit, because I believe people that lifted the Jeeps with the manual transmission say they pop out of gear, and it's an easy kit for it. So, but other than that, when you're jacking it up, again, just watch out for the ground strap. Make sure, I had no issues at all on mine, but you know, some cars, everything's a little different. And there you go. I mean, it looks great. I put new wheels on it. I'm gonna make another video right now on JL wheels on a JK. All right, guys, Motorcar Nut 2020. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Any questions, leave them below. I'll try to get it answer them as soon as possible. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.